Hello everyone, this is Andrew Putra and I'm gonna show you my CA1 in Big Data Systems. So it's basically about everything that we should do in MongoDB. So at first now I'm gonna show you in my database of Big Data CA1 Andrew Putra, I'm gonna show you all the collections that I have, which is comments, movies, posts, and users. So first we're gonna see at the movies first, and let's just see what's inside movies. DB, DB, movies, fine. Yeah, there's a lot, so we can just see it in a better way. Simply in a JSON style. So yeah, so there's like Fight Club, Pulp Fiction, Glorious Bastards, The Hobbits, and all three Hobbits. So the uniqueness of MongoDB is not everything should be the same like in a SQL. Since it's a document database, we can have a flexible database and have in a collection we can have different things inside, or we can even put a list inside or things like that. So Brad Pitt, Edward Norton as the actors in Fight Club, actors in Pulp Fiction or John Travolta, Uma Thurman, Samuel Jackson, and you can see everything here. And you can, as you can see as well, The Hobbit. In The Hobbits, there are franchise and synopsis, while on those last movies there are not. Well, it's because we can just put in what we want. Because, for example, since the Hobbit movies, we want to put in like a franchise tag which shows that it's the franchise of the Hobbit and the synopsis of the Hobbit. Yeah, and we can go on the other one, which is db.show collections, db.comments.find. Yeah, something about that we will see later about relational stuff. db.users.find. Here's stuff as well. db.post. So now we're gonna discuss the queries necessary to answer all the questions and insert data into the collection. So here is all my files. Hold on. The list query and the answer as well, from the first until the end. So first I need to use big data, and just by writing use big data CA1 and Putra, I'm gonna create the database. And from the insert, I'm just gonna put everything like this. Insert Fight Club, insert Pulp Fiction, insert Hobbit, just like title, writer, year, actors, and then the year actors, put it in a list. And for the Hobbit, you got writers and the franchise and the synopsis. And then there's the thing that we should do, which is query find documents, and which is the question here. Just need to find the documents, get all documents with writer set to Quentin Tarantino, get all documents where actors include to Brad Pitt. And you can see in my answers, there it is, where you can get Quentin Tarantino, we can get Brad Pitt, where you can get the franchise of the Hobbit. Here you can find the year that is later than the year 2000, or you can find movies that are later than 2000 or greater than 2010. Less than 2000, this means like in the 90s, and also greater than 2010. Yeah, we can use the lower than, we can use the greater than, LTGT on MongoDB when you're searching. And we also need to update here, since we need to update document, add the synopsis to the Hobbit movies, and you also need to add an actor. So I just go by taking the object ID of those, and we just update the synopsis to everything, and update add to set because of the actor is in the list, so I need to use add to set. And the text search, at first I need to create index where the synopsis is the text, because I need to search in a synopsis. On the question here is find all movies that have synopsis, so I create an index in synopsis and just use the find from the synopsis. Then for delete documents, I go use the delete one, and you just need to delete one from delete the movie Pee-wee Herman's Big Adventure and delete the one Avatar. And in the relationship, I need to insert the following documents to user collection, and also insert the following documents to a post collection, and insert documents to comment selection with reference. So as you can see here, is everything with the references as well. Then I put everything which is query related collections with db.users.find pretty, db.post.find pretty, db.post.find username, and everything else for the find all users. So as you can see, MongoDB is quite flexible and is quite simple when you want to write the or search or queries, because you can just simply text, like if you need something, for example, like find writer, then you can just write find writer Quentin Tarantino dot pretty. That pretty is just to print it in a JSON text. And for the differences between MongoDB and an SQL relational database, the difference is much like in a SQL relational database, it's going to be a very rigid structure in the database, so you can't just put, like for example, like how I do, there is a title and there is a franchise in one collection, but there is no collection, there is no the franchise tag on other documents when it's actually in one collection, because some have actors, some don't have, some have the synopsis, some don't. So that you can't do that in a SQL relational database, because it had a rigid structure. And reflect on how this assignment will change if you were asked to use PostgreSQL is probably that I will be, and for the database, like discussing the difference between, I mean, reflect on how this assignment will change if you were asked to use PostgreSQL, then probably I will do a lot more, because as you can see, like how it, if for example, if reference queries, I can just use inner join or join the table directly, because MongoDB doesn't really allow joins but on queries. But if you can see, if for inserting documents that have different tags, when you can actually put it in a collection like in MongoDB, you can do that in a SQL relational database like in Postgres. So probably I should make like a movies 1 database, movies 2 database, to show like there is one for the franchise and the synopsis tag, and there's one for just your actor, writer, and title, and maybe another movie database which is called have a title, writer, year, and franchise, and a synopsis. And maybe I make one that have one don't have the synopsis and one have. So both have its pros and cons, but it certainly will be much better to much easier to search in for me in a relational SQL database, because it's more rigid, so you can know everything that's inside already. But like in a MongoDB, you need to see how the collections are and how the documents are inside the collections to where when you can search, because you can't just search anything, because you might don't know it, you might not see, or you might get difficult on how to search in a MongoDB database, because you can just have like a nested query, nested documents inside a document, which is actually the pros of having a MongoDB. So that's probably pretty much it. Thank you very much for listening to my screencast. Thank you.